and I didn't make my bed. There's Rory. Say hi, Rory. Alright, today I have 6 frugal wins for you and like 3 or 4 frugal fails. Okie dokie, so I've got frugal stuff for you, and it's been so fun jotting these down all week. I'm so excited that everyone was so positive about this new series because I'm into it. I'm like really into it. So, my first frugal thing, and I don't really know if this counts or not, was that I went grocery shopping even though I was legit not in the mood at all. Sunday I was just like tired and feeling groggy, and I was mentally and just kind of physically drained. I just wasn't feeling good, and I made myself, it was like 11 o'clock at night when I was finally like, if you don't go to the grocery store, you're not going to have food to eat this week, and you're going to end up eating out, and it's going to just be awful for your budget. And so I ended up going to the grocery store, and I just kind of made myself adult, and I don't know if that counts as a frugal thing, but I'm counting it as a win that I made myself have enough willpower to do the basic things that every human has to do to be somewhat productive in society. Thumbs up if you've had days like that, okay? Because I think we all have. Alright, number 2, my second frugal thing was that I went to a free yoga class. The studio where I do jujitsu, which is paid for out of my personal money this month, it's the wife of the owner is holding a free yoga class every Sunday this month, and I found out about it, and so I went on Sunday, even though normally I do not exercise on Sunday. It's kind of my relaxed day when I like get stuff done, but I went, and it was actually really fun, though it was kind of unintentionally a hot yoga class, which I do not like. I don't like hot yoga. I don't like sweat staining my eyes when I'm in downward dog, or like slipping off of my own leg trying to stand. So, but it ended up being like 85 degrees in there because she just didn't turn on the air. I'm hoping next week, because it will still be free next week, she'll turn on the air. But yeah, it was a free yoga class, and I did it, and I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I did it. So, and I'm gonna go next week too. After this month, she's gonna charge for it, and I don't know if I'm gonna pay for it. I doubt I'm gonna pay for it, but it was a fun experience while it was free. All right. Number 3 was I went to a local store on sale day, and I bought some stuff that I wanted to try for half off because I went on that day specifically. Once again, not positive this could be counted as a frugal win, but here's the thing. I've been trying to get into tea. I'm a total coffee girl, and I will drink like 6 cups of coffee a day if I don't stop myself. So I've been trying to get into tea. I know it has a lot of health benefits, especially during the winter, which I know is coming. I like having a cup of hot something in my hands, and hot cocoa is not sugar-free friendly. So I've been trying to get into tea, but it costs so much money to buy a box of tea, which is essentially the only way you can try something and see if you like it. So I've bought a couple of boxes of tea. I bought a box of peppermint tea, and I bought a box of chai vanilla tea, and they're both fine, but I wanted to be able to try more teas without having to buy boxes of them. That just seems kind of wasteful, especially if I don't like one. So this local store sells a bunch of tea by like the packet, and they're normally 50 cents each, but on the day I went, and I went specifically because I knew it was this day, they were 25 cents each. So this is all sorts of really good, some like nice name brand tea that I was able to buy to try by the packet to see if I can find something that I really like. I tried this one last night. It's coconut vanilla tea, and it was pretty good. So I'm really looking forward to trying all of these. For all 6, it was $1.50. So that was awesome, and I'm calling that a frugal win. So I get to try new teas. Alrighty. And up next is that I organized my desk drawers in the little desk I'm sitting at. They were just absolutely filled with pins and other like random sewing notions, and this is kind of a very multi-use space that I have here. But when I emptied out the entire There was this was filled with pins, like to the top where I couldn't open it, because I hoard pins, apparently. And what I decided to do was go through every single pin and only keep, like, my favorites. So I love writing with these Pilot G2s, and I love writing with, like, these Papermate felt tips, and I only kept this many pins, which is more than I need at home. I've got plenty of access to pins at work, and what I decided to do with the rest was I tested every single one, and then I brought them and a bunch of notebooks and stuff like that that were unused to and a backpack that I got at a yard sale for $1 a long time ago and never used. I brought all of that stuff to a local school today and donated it, and they were so happy to get that stuff. Like, it was a couple of bags of stuff. I didn't see it as a big deal at all, but they were like, this really helps, especially at the beginning of the school. Thank you so much. So that kind of gave me warm, fuzzy feelings, and I have a more organized desk, and every pin I reach for is one of my favorite pins. So that's kind of a nice little thing to have, just, a little stockpile of your favorite pins, and you want to write with all of them instead of, like, the little Bic 12 for $1 ones. I had a lot of those, and you reach for one of those and you're just immediately disappointed. So yeah, I threw away all the ones that didn't work. I tested all those, and I gave them highlighter. I can't remember the last time I used a highlighter, so I gave them all my highlighters, all sorts of stuff that I could find. I ended up kind of going on a little rampage and looking for any school supplies that hadn't been used, and I just piled them all in these bags, and I brought them over there, and they were so happy to have them. While I was doing that, I also, oh no, wait, I'll get to it. All right, I started, number 5, I started this money book, which one of my Canadian Budget Girl viewers sent me, and I think they must have read it, and I remember the card that came with it, and they were like, she reminds me of you, or you remind me of her. And it's such a huge compliment, because now that I've started it, she's hilarious. This woman is super hilarious, in your face. She's very much like Dave Ramsey, very no nonsense, very common sense of you are in control of your life, and if you're not doing it right, that is your fault, but here's how to fix it, kind of thing. And so I love this, and I'm sad that I didn't make time to read this sooner, but I'm addicted to it now. So I will be finishing that soon, and I'm very excited about that. And I think it's always a frugal win to educate yourself more about money matters. I think anytime that I start a financial book, I get more knowledgeable on the subject, and that is a huge frugal win. So, all right. And number 6, I went, and while I was doing, I spent about an hour today kind of running around doing drop-offs of kind of like house purging stuff. So I had this big box of fabric scraps, basically, to be recycled as fabric, of any clothes that had gotten stained or ripped, or fabric of any kind that just wasn't good for, it was all clothes. A pair of sweatpants that had a hole in it, that kind of thing. Stuff that wouldn't be good for resale at a charity shop. You wouldn't want to do that. But there are a lot of thrift shops that have fabric recycling programs where they can sell off this unused fabric in lots to be used as like fill for various things, and they can earn money off of that, and the fabric can be used again even though it is torn or ripped. And so I've been throwing stuff like that into this big box. I'll put in a picture of it at the end. For basically the whole year I've been here, and it finally filled up. And so, had some old towels in it that weren't, like, they were just gross, bleach stain, that kind of thing. But they'll recycle the fabric, and it'll get another life, and it won't just have to go to landfill, and that makes me super happy. So I had all that stuff, and I dropped that off at the local charity shop place. I double checked that they did fabric recycling, and they did. I also stopped by the consignment store that I use sometimes. Occasionally I always have a box going of stuff of I don't need this anymore, throw it in the box, try to sell it, and if you can't sell it, donate it. So I have done 2 cycles now at a local thrift store, no, not a thrift store, a local consignment store, and they make it very, very easy. They have super cheap prices. They keep the store very well organized, and all you do is you drop off your box of stuff, and they will sell what they can, and they give you back what they can't. And so today I was able to get my money from the last cycle, which is a couple of months, and I earned $21.13 off of just random junk that I found around my house. I mean, this is like a glass that doesn't have any matches to it anymore. This is an old coffee pot that I don't use anymore. This is, any clothes or shoes or anything like that that aren't my style anymore, don't fit. As long as they were in decent condition, this place takes them. And home decor too. I'll cycle through some of that stuff. And they sell it for super cheap. It's almost like a yard sale. They give you the little tickets, and on most of these, the prices are like $2 to $4, $2, $3, $4, and I get half of what they sold it for. So it's very small amounts, but at the same time, it's a lot better than nothing. And every couple of months they give me a little envelope. This is the second time I've done it. First time I also got 20 bucks, right around there. So this will go to debt. Yay! And so it's, and they also gave me back a box of stuff that they couldn't sell or didn't want to sell for whatever reason, and I donated that. And it was stuff that was fine, it's just they didn't want to sell it. So I donated that. The rule is that if I take it out, I do not bring it back into my home. No. So yes, I earned a little bit of money by just kind of continually purging. And I could probably get more for it if I actively sold it myself, either on like Facebook Swap or doing a yard sale, but this lets me not have to organize one of those or keep track. I just have a box that I throw stuff in, and every once in a while I bring it over and they do it for me, which is more than worth it. Because all this stuff I don't want it in my home anymore. I could easily donate it. By taking it that one step before donating it, I can earn just a little bit of money off of it, and that I find to be very good. Alright, so those were the frugal wins. I know you want to hear the frugal fails. Alrighty, when I went grocery shopping and didn't want to, I forgot my list. So obviously I forgot something, and I had to go back on Monday, which goes against my only one shopping time per week rule, but my lunch this week was sandwiches, and I forgot the mayo. Now, I am not a big condiment person. I like just a little bit of mayo on my sandwiches, but I also don't put anything else on them, so it's just meat and cheese and bread, and then just a little bit of mayo to moisten it, and I was not looking forward to having sandwiches all week without a little bit of something to give it a little bit of moisture. And so I went back and I bought mayo, and while I was there I bought a couple other things, but I spent less than $10, but that's what happens when you have to go back to the store. So that was a fail. And let's see, frugal fail number 2, I had to throw away some carrots that went bad. I bought some carrots a week and a half ago to go with hummus. I went to eat some that were left yesterday, and they were kind of greasy and slimy, and they weren't really worth eating anymore. So I had to throw those away, and I wasted that food, and that sucks. And then I still ate out this week. Possibly because I wasn't really looking forward to the sandwiches, even though they had mayo. On Tuesday, it was a really, really bad press day. It was just fire after fire after fire, and I didn't get enough rest, and it was just bad. And so I ended up going out and buying some food for lunch, and ended up going out later in the afternoon and buying a giant Route 44 soda, Coke Zero from Sonic, just to keep me awake. And I brought food with me that night, because I always bring food with me on press nights, but I ate it all. So it's at a certain point I eat to keep myself awake, and I know that's a terrible habit, but it gets the paper published, I'm just saying. and then I ate out yesterday too. I also had a bad day at work yesterday. I got really frustrated. I was at the library and I was having to deal with a what is it called, microfiche machine, and by the time I left, I just went and got Taco Bell and came home and slept. I just needed food in my face, lay down. So yeah, I ate out twice this week, and it wasn't in my budget either. I'd already eaten, since I had kind of an eating out palooza earlier in the month. I definitely busted my budget on a restaurant for this month, so I will just try not to eat out next week to mitigate some of the damage. But yeah, those are my frugal wins and my frugal fails. At the very least, this pays for the fast food that I ate out this week. This more than pays for the fast food that I ate out this week, unknown income. So tell me your frugal wins and your frugal fails. I loved reading them. I absolutely loved reading them. Some of you guys did so amazing. Some of you just kept yourself from ordering stuff on Amazon, and you know what? That's a win too. So I will see you all soon. Tell me everything you did this week below, Frugal Wise, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.